Glad to have you back. Now, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has registered as a member of his much-touted Coalition for Nigeria movement at NUJ Press Center, Iwe-Iroyin, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Now, he was accompanied by the national coordinator of the movement, Olaguntoye Oyinlola, and the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke. The former president said the movement was not created as a third force or a political party, but to serve as open body for all Nigerians, regardless of political parties or ethnic background.
Meanwhile, the ruling All Progressives Congress says the prospect of a coalition ahead of the 2019 general elections does not constitute a threat worth worrying about. Okay, so we have in the studio a public affairs commentator and 2019 presidential aspirant, Victor Okai. Good morning to you and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you.
Yeah. All right. Are you seeing the CNM now, the third force? Of course, the members have said that it's not a political party, as something that could be a game changer looking at 2019.
Well, here's what I would say. First of all, we cannot live in denials. We can't pretend that it's not going to be a political party. When G34 started, I mean, this was how it started, you know, with the late VP, ex-Vice President Alex Ekweme and other patriots, if you like, and another group again called itself the Patriots also. So they come in these forms and all that. Of course, no one is fooled. It would metamorphose into a party or move into a party or whatever the case is. So there's no denying the fact. And on the issue of a third force, the third force Nigerians are asking for is not the third force of recircled politicians. What you find now, right now, is, you know, there's APC, there's PDP. What happened before was, you know, as soon as APC was formed, you know, people moved away from PDP. The same old politicians have moved.
Old wine in a doom bottle kind of situation.
Exactly. And you know what the Bible says about it? It will bust. This is not me now. That's what it says. If you put a new wine in an old bottle, it will bust. You know, they're incompatible. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The third force they're talking about now, it's not the third force Nigerians are asking for. The third force Nigerians are asking for is, you know, a fresh set of people. People who have not been tainted and spoiled by the present rent-seeking group of gerontocrats, if you excuse my English. Old people we've been recycling, who started ruling this country in their 20s and they have refused to leave, and now they're preparing their children and preparing us to serve their children and grandchildren. I would say enough is enough. The third force that this coalition is purporting to be is nothing short of, how do I put it now, if you like, a group of, excuse my language, it may sound strong, but that's blunt truth I will let you know here. It's a bunch of disgruntled or disadvantaged elements in the other two parties who are looking for, you know, a third party where they might have it easier. And because the word third force is being touted, which Nigerians, of course, need an alternative to the two main parties. But this is not the alternative Nigerians want. The alternative Nigerians want is someone who is visionary, someone who's not been a part of the system, someone who's not been corrupted, someone who hasn't stolen money from Nigeria to run election, someone who will come and will not be, you know, a stooge to the godfathers, you know, someone who will not be manipulated by this same system that has held us down all of these years.
All right. Besides the CNM of President Obasanjo, we also have the NIM,
yes,
which Kwesili and the others, Professor Wole Soyinka, and all of that.
Yes.
Now, if you look at all of these people,
yes,
you also see people who have some level of credibility over time and pedigree and so on, especially when you compare them with others who were in government at that time.
People like who?
Obviously, Kwesili was seen as one of the technocrats under President Olusegun Obasanjo's government.
Yes.
Donald Duke, who is even in the CNM, was seen as a governor who really tried in bringing Cross River State to a certain level. Professor Wole Soyinka is another person. Professor Patu Tomi and all of Olisa Bakoba and all of that. Would you refer to all of these people as disgruntled and dissatisfied with the system?
Well, I would not change what I've said.
Okay.
I repeat that because in that same mix, within that same mix, you will see the same old politicians.
But is
in
it,
that,
but
no,
is
just
it,
a minute, just a minute.
Yeah.
In that same mix. So what does that tell you? I tell you what, from the same pool or pot where, if you like, the Ezekwesilis and other technocrats were pulled, you would also find so many more out there. Where an additional who was not a part of the system, he was pulled from somewhere, okay? Okonjo-Iweala was not a part of the system, she wasn't a politician, she was pulled from somewhere. Within Nigeria and in the diaspora abound great talent.
So don't you think it behoves on such people to come out by themselves? Because you cannot drag someone that is not interested to come into the mainstream.
I agree.
These people are saying they are coming forward.
I'll say this to you. I agree with you that these people ought to come forward. Why are they not coming forward? It takes courage. It takes courage. And a lot of people are scared. You see, the current politicians, they have made it seem like an impossible task. I've met people who have said to me, do you know what you're going into at all? Do you have the billions that it takes? Do you have the structure that it takes? None of that moves me. You know why? Because if you're able to sell a vision and people can buy into it, every other thing will follow. Now, the thing out there is that a lot of these people out there, even in the diaspora, are they happy there? Obviously not. They want to come back home. You understand what I'm saying? But the way politics is practiced here is what has discouraged a lot of them. But if you have someone who is courageous enough and is able to get in there and bring these people back home, we'll be able to talk. Look at what's happening in Lagos State today. Lagos State is being run like a private enterprise. Don't misunderstand. What I mean is like a business. And it's well run and it's run efficiently. You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at the components of, yes, there are the politicians there, but you also have technocrats, you know, that are brought to run the various organs of government. Now, what we have at the federal level, which is what affects every one of us, we have states that are being run very well. There's no doubt about that. But at the federal level, we're suffering because there's so much nepotism. There's so much, I mean, there's so much that shouldn't be at all because we have people out there but this culture of settlement, you know, this culture of trying to please certain people has weighed us down. For how long are we going to continue like this? Now, that's where the problem is.
All right. We have the general elections in Nigeria in about a year,
yes.
Likely February 2019.
Yes.
What do you think, from the dissatisfaction of Nigerians, what do you think is going to be the determinant factor in how people are going to vote? What is going to impact or decide people's voting patterns in 2019? Oh,
that's easy to say. I can tell you that. Again, permit me if I use Lagos as an example. I'm not trying, but I mean, if you see something good, you say so. I see a situation where an APC card-carrying member in Lagos State will vote for somebody for performance, but will definitely, as we say in street lingo, shine their eyes at the federal level. They may not vote APC at the federal level.
But that is Lagos. What about some states in the north?
No, this is going to happen all over the country. I can tell you that. I've been around, and I know that for sure. You know, you see,
the president went to Kano. The president went to Kano a few weeks ago, and many residents, you know, trooped out to the streets to hail him as they were singing his praises. And in fact, he said, with that kind of crowd he saw, that he was confident that if he ran for second term, he would win.
No, don't be fooled,
Many
because we also saw alternative. We also saw other pictures that were not shown.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? We also saw pictures of APC vans and Buhari vans that were burnt down. These are pictures that they will probably kill in the media. You understand what I'm saying? We saw the pictures.
Some leaders have even said that population doesn't translate into votes.
I want to say this to you. You see, again, I like speaking with examples that are recent and that we know about. You would have noticed that during the, 2015 elections, the strategy that APC used, particularly, and it was very effective, was town hall meetings. Do you remember that now? They had town hall meetings, you know, across the various states. Of course, there were rallies and all of that as well. rallies are rented crowd. People are given money to go out there. They will pocket 80% of it and then share the rest and invite people and give them T-shirts. You know, and maybe share 500 naira, 1,000, come. So that they can justify the money that they've given them, most of which they have stolen. Even the crowd that come in, many of them probably don't have PVCs. And perhaps half of them will not vote. Don't be fooled by what you see.
But many educated Nigerians don't vote as well, and that is why
almost
every time that is the uneducated ones that decide.
No, I can tell you that. You see, there's so much awareness right now. Okay. You know, many educated Nigerians, elite, do not come out to vote, but now they're suffering the consequences of their indifference to the electoral process. I shouldn't be asking you this, but I want to ask: are you registered?
Absolutely, I have my
card. Are you registered?
I have my card.
Will you vote?
PVCs.
Why won't I vote?
Will you vote?
If I am not on duty that day, yes, performing the essential assignment.
No, you do, and you go and vote.
You go and vote, and then you come back.
This is about our future. It's about our destiny. I don't know if you're enjoying the current state of affairs in this country. I know I'm not. You know, even if I don't speak for myself, I fear for my children. I fear for my grandchildren, because, you know, when I see the things that I see right now, and when I say so, I'm not just talking about economic indices. Economic indices will collapse in the face of security, if you like, lack of security. You understand what I'm saying? Because if there's no security, what happens? Our best brains will leave this country.
They are leaving.
They're leaving already. You know,
some sectors.
We're going to be losing serious manpower that should sustain this economy. All the movement to Libya, I was in Benin recently. For every 10 persons that are brought back, about 200 to 300 more are on their way out. Why is that so?
And in fact,
there's a lack of confidence. Young people.
You made reference to Benin. We had
yes.
one of them who got back.
Yes,
and
Precious.
Yes. Yeah. And we asked him, will you go again? And he said, well, why not? I'll try to go again.
We asked why. He said, what opportunities are there in Nigeria?
Exactly.
That was the question he asked.
At 40, there are men who are still living in their parents' houses, sleeping on couches. I kid you not. Graduates will finish and post-NYSC. Thank God for NYSC provides temporary employment and relief. Okay.
Now these problems,
after that,
problems
10 years down the line,
the problems predate this administration.
How do you mean?
Late fella Nicola Kukuti sang a song, "Suffering and Smiling," and talked about 95 sitting, 59 stand. I can't recall the figures now, and some other songs sung by some.
I agree. Now let me answer you.
Veterans,
which is why we're saying enough is enough of these gerontocrats. It's those same people that Fela sang about that are still ruling us today. Do you get it? These same people are the ones that are ruling us today. For how long shall we continue to be under this bondage? That is the question.
All right. Nigerians are still asking this question as to let me use the word so-called fresh faces.
Yes.
Who, to a great extent, sometimes don't have the required experience, but they have the passion to get into the system and try to change the system. Sometimes opportunities are given, and many times they don't deliver.
No, I'll say this.
There are several examples here and there I wouldn't want to mention right now, but some of them are even state governors where so many of their indigents are complaining of so many of the things the governors are doing.
I'll say this to you. I mean, for me, this is an individual thing, and I've said so in some interviews. Just as you have a few young people in who are not performing, so do you have so many old people who are also not performing.
Exactly.
It cuts across, okay? It's not an excuse not to have young people coming, okay? It's the young people that are running the banks. It's the young people that are running corporate Nigeria, and they're doing very, very well. You also find the young people running parastatals in Lagos State. I keep using that example. They're everywhere. You're young people, and you're running this station very well. I want to imagine, we know a station that is run by very old people, and we know how that station, I'm not mentioning names here, but I know that we hardly watch that station. But look at the stations run by young people today. Vibrant, dynamic, everything. You see the energy, you feel the energy, and you can see that this is forward-looking. Okay? Now, I laugh when people talk about experience, you know, when they talk about What do you mean by experience? Is it working within the civil service or working within, how do I put it now? Having gotten an appointment? It's the same thing that happens when you say to a man, we can't give you a job because you don't have work experience. Okay? Permit me, and I have no apologies for doing this. I like to draw examples. It can be from books, it can be from the Bible. But you know what? David, and I say David because it's common to all the religions as well as the Old Testament. They never reckoned with him. Even his father never reckoned with him. You understand what I'm saying? When Goliath was insulting the children of Israel and and all that, and taunting them and all that, when he came to bring food for his brothers, they were saying, "God, what do you want to do? You have come again with your this. Why are you asking questions? Why are you interested in that?" But he felt insulted. He was an angry young man. You understand what I'm saying? And knew that I felt that enough was enough. He couldn't take it anymore. They did not reckon with him, but what they did not reckon with was the fact that in the bush where they thought he should have been looking after sheep and goats, he was receiving training there. And that training came in handy. And so, whereas you think that some of these people are inexperienced, I tell you frankly, they have had their own bush training. They've had their own experience, which will come to the fore.
Okay. Victor Hai, public affairs commentator and 2019 presidential aspirant. Thank you very much for your analysis. And like you said, many people still need to come forward.
Oh, yes.
Experience is not excuse not to give opportunity to
And even
serve.
besides that, we look forward to having more of you on the program because on behalf of Nigerians, we're going to grill you here sometime.
No, by all means, it's important.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.